So let's go back to the spirit board and see what we've got. Okay, looking for someone specific this time. Spirits of the music world, I summon you before me to appear the voice of Nirvana, Kurt Cobain. Are you out there tonight? I think that's a yes. Let's see. Let me check. It's a yes. Oh wow, this is exciting beyond belief. I guess I should probably make this my day job. I mean, great. Well, then I'll say the magic words. Ghost of Kurt. Platitude Precario. Join us in the Free Thought Librario. Damn, I'm good. Well, it's definitely smelling like teen spirit in here. Kurt, welcome to Truth Wanted. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. You got a hookup?
Well, I think you might want to talk to me after the show for that. I think that might not be exactly the kind of truth that we're looking for or that is wanted here on the show. So, but we can see about that. So what have you been up to?
Oh, man, you know who's here?
Well, pretty much everybody. Actually, I maybe this might be a sore topic. I did talk to Courtney earlier. She was looking for that damn Sprite, so...
Oh, wait, Courtney's here?
Well, she's not actually there, but somehow she was out of it enough to show up. So you're safe. Relax. It's not going to happen again. She's not here. But I do have some questions for you if you're okay with answering a few.
Yeah, shoot.
Cool. Now, I presume you have to be doing some music in the afterlife. So is there a Celestial Nirvana 2.0 coming along? Or there's any heavenly hit records yet?
I'm waiting on Steve Albini, dude, to get here. Yeah, I'm waiting on him to get here. We're writing, though. Yeah, we're writing music, left and right. We just need Steve Albini here.
Well, I guess if you wait long enough, all of us will be there. So just give it a little bit of time. Now, has anyone come up to you in heaven and said, "Hey, Kurt, how about some guitar lessons? Can you teach me how to be a celestial rock star like you?" Or are you keeping all your riffs and all your talent to yourself?
You know who I've been giving guitar lessons to? You know that cat? Garfield. Yeah, Garfield. Yeah, he's riffing, man.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow, I have to say that was not something I expected. I kind of expected him to be more just eating everything in sight, but it's good to know he has other talents. That's a really important thing to know. I don't think I'll ever look at Garfield quite the same again.
Yeah, there's no lasagna here. None.
Well, I guess that's probably why he had to diversify. Now, Kurt, are you up for a call?
You have a phone? Can you hit somebody up for me?
Maybe after this. Maybe we can take one and then we'll see about calling out and see because I got an idea who you're looking for.
Right on.
Yeah, we can figure something out there. All right? You ready to talk to somebody then?
Let's go.
All right, let's do this. Looks like we have Willhelm Scream from Texas, and he wants to know how much crazier can online YouTube videos get. Hey, Will, you're on with Infidel and Kurt Cobain. How are you today?
Hey, Kurt Cobain. Wonderful. Best wishes to Dan. I hope he's going to be okay. We love him. Glad you guys could be here. Do you know what the Willhelm Scream is?
Actually, I don't. Could you enlighten me?
It's the most famous sound effect ever used in movies. I have it right here. Listen. You've heard that 100 times in 100 movies.
At least, without a doubt.
At least, yes. Anyway, in honor of Halloween. So one of the things I called about was I follow a lot of crazy channels just because I have a lot of time on my hands, like, Mud Fossil University and Gina Marie Colvin and, Hans Wormhat. I don't know how much crazy they have left to go through. I mean, how much more? Where can they go from here?
Well, I've got to say that I'm almost scared to even hear that question, much less ask it, because anytime I think, okay, we've reached a limit, this is about as far as things can go, somebody goes, oh, no, we can far surpass that. So I guess we'll see. And probably the week after that, we'll see again. So I think we're a long ways from the limit of how crazy things can get. But I guess we'll see.
Frightening. That's frightening. Well, okay. Do you know who Gina Maria Colvin is?
Yes.
Okay. Gina Marie Colvin believes that Cthulhu is alive and living at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. She believes the Borg are real. And every time she sees a water droplet on a lens of a camera, she believes that's an interdimensional plasma being. And when you try to bring even the least little bit of sensibility, the least little questioning, you're immediately blocked and exorcised. From that page. How do you reach these people? What can you say to flat earthers and alien experiencers and lizard people believers? How do we get there? How do we get to them?
Well, personally, I have to say that, and this may be a little condescending on my part, but I can't take Fleur serious. It's just, I don't know how to reach them because it's so demonstrably simple to recognize that the earth is not flat. That's something I think someone has to come to the opinion and discovery on their own. I think we can give them all the information out there, but like religion, it's really no different. If people choose to have bad beliefs, they're going to continue to have those bad beliefs. If they want to examine, and it's important to them that they know what is true, they'll come around to it. It might take a while. And of course, I think that one thing that is important is that when we do engage these types of people, is to try not to come across rude or condescending. Because once we do that, I know even if you're right and you come across as an asshole to me, yes, I'm not going to listen to you. Yes. I'm going to completely disregard whatever you have to say. And I think that that's one thing that I know personally I have to work on, because if I think you're an idiot, it's my natural tendency to say, no, you're an idiot. But it's just really not a constructive way to do things. And
you really have to hide that. You really have to hide that. And I have ameliorated my approach to these people, like Roger Spur, who believes that there's a 900-mile long dragon corpse laying across North Africa, and I very respectfully ask, well, Roger, what about the square cube law? What about the fact that dragon's nose would be in the ionosphere, and he would sink to the center of the planet by his own, and they block you immediately. You're like, don't ask that. That's too reasonable a question. How dare you? How dare you come here with reasonable questions?
Yeah, and that's something that I know that we all run into frequently is people who are very defensive on their beliefs, and it's more of a don't confuse me with the facts my mind's made up. So, as long as you're dancing to the song that I want to play, we'll talk. But as soon as you make that a little bit uncomfortable, no, you have to go. You're just being a problem. Yes. And that is that balance.
I do that myself. I'm 65, a little overweight, and in very poor health. But I still believe I'm going to have a good-looking girlfriend with big titties before I die. That's not going to happen, but I'm going to believe it. Why not?
Well, as I've tried to explain to people before in my life, I say, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Dumb and Dumber, but in it they talk about. They have the bus load of bikini models. And I say, when I leave work, I look outside and look for that bus. And if that bus is there, I'm on it and I'm gone. You guys aren't going to hear from me for a while. But I go out every day. I look, the bus isn't there. So I go home. And so, yeah, there is that big difference. And that's the problem with some people is accepting the difference between what your imagination of what you want as opposed to reality. And yeah, we all have our dreams and goals, and some people, unfortunately, they live in that fantasy world, and they refuse to embrace reality sometimes. And I get it. Reality can be fearful. Reality and change.
Hope springs.
Yes.
Hope springs eternal. The little bastard. Well, one last thing. I won't keep you any longer. I do think it behooves us. On the crazy channels, on the Hans Wormhat and the Mud Fossil and the Gina Marie Colvin and the Coast to Coast. Oh my God, Coast to Coast AM. What a clusterfuck. I think it does behoove us to politely invite, raise some doubts. To politely, don't. We shouldn't just type you're an idiot. Let's ask legitimate questions and get to a consensus, because there are a few people who are in neither camp. There's some 17, 18, 19-year-olds out there who are just trying to figure this shit out. So give them a little room for doubt, I think. Ask respectful questions and bring up some legitimate concerns.
I completely agree with you. I know that I was 30 years old before I started really seriously deconstructing religion. And if somebody would have came up and started telling me how wrong I was on everything, I would have I'd have disregarded them, and nothing would have happened. But it's like you said, It's those small little steps. It's just those little seeds of curiosity. It brings me back to the earlier caller, Emmanuel, where no one's going to convince Emmanuel that that God isn't real or his God isn't real, and that's not really a goal. But the goal is to make people think. And just like you're talking, allowing people to think and to step back just for a moment and say, hey, wait, that doesn't add up. And that might not be something that you'll ever see the difference of. For me, it was probably 2 years before I came out to anybody that I didn't believe anymore. And that process, you got to let it happen. I can't rush the process for someone else no more than someone could rush the process for me. So I've got to say, I really agree with what you say there. We got to.
I was first a skeptic. I was into James Randi, and Carl Sagan. I first became a skeptic, and only gradually became an atheist. It took me 10 years to realize, you know what? I don't believe this anymore. So it doesn't have to happen overnight. I just got on I just turned the channel on a few minutes ago. You had to deal with a manual again tonight?
Well, you know what? You go back and listen to the call. I've been one of those people who, while Emmanuel frustrates me sometimes, I really always felt that Emmanuel's heart and his desires were in the right place. And I really think that he demonstrated that with some of the conversation he had tonight. And
he does seem to be making a little progress.
Yes.
He does seem to be, yes.
And that's important because I didn't change overnight. I'm 20 years out now, and I still find bad ideas and things that came from that first 30 years of religion for me. So, Emmanuel and people like Emmanuel. So why don't we do this? And it's just like you said. No one's going to come in and say, "Hey, stupid, straighten it up. This is the right thing. Follow this way." It's just opening those doors and taking those opportunities to say, "Hey, think about this," and think about this. When someone does it, you just never know what that can lead to. And hopefully for people it's something better and a better life for them, because my life isn't improved if someone says God doesn't exist. My life is improved by people in the world being better. And so when people can shake the chains of certain things that are wrong and dangerous to them and the people around them, that's a win. Whether they continue to go to church, whether they continue to believe in God, if they treat the people around them better and have a better life themselves because they cast away some of those bad ideas, I'll take that as a win every day.
Oh, man. Can you keep me on 2 more minutes?
Go ahead.
Because you just spoke to a huge issue for me right now.
Go ahead. Make it quick, though, but yeah, go ahead.
I'll make it real quick.
All right.
I just rejoined my Church of Origin, Disciples of Christ, which is a very moderate liberal church. And I have found that I'm an atheist, and they know I'm an atheist. But I have found we have a lot of common goals and aims. They are pro LGBTQ. They are not fundamentalist. They're everything I want in a church. And they know I'm an atheist. And I've gotten a lot of shit from other atheists for associating with Christians. That pisses me off.
Well, as I said, I'm going to let you go. But one thing I do want to say is that if we don't associate with theists, how are we ever going to reach them? And taking a page from the Bible where, it says that, go into the highways and byways and compel them to you, reach out, go out and reach them. And that's really what, as secular skeptics, atheists, ichtheists, whatever we ultimately define ourselves as individuals, if we want to make the world a better place, we don't make the world a better place by being insular and isolated from people who think differently than us. So, well, I have to admit, I just want to say that I hope it all works out and that you continue to reach and positively impact the theists around you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to give you the Willhelm Scream one more time.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for calling.